I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make them bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your man's Uncle Freezy, rocking my baby, the Knicks at Night podcast. It feels so good to be here, rocking with y'all, man, on the Knicks at Night podcast. This has always been my favorite joint to do. Chris, what's good? What's good, Knicks Nation, man? What's good? This has always been my favorite joint to do, the Knicks at Night podcast, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. So we're going to rock the spot for a few minutes, talk some Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Talk some Knicks. Pre-All-Star break and all that stuff. So let me first start by saying welcome, welcome, welcome. Just hanging out. Okay. So your New York Knicks are 25-34 at the All-Star break. This is not where we'd envisioned ourselves being when the season started. When the season started, we had visions of being the number one seed. I mean, not number one. That might be a bridge too far. Danny Lee, what's good? We had visions of being maybe trying to sneak into the 3 seed or maybe the 2 seed. Definitely staying around. Hey, Miss Geraldine is in the building. What's good? Definitely being in that 3, 4, 5 area with eyes on the 2 seed. Right? So we had high hopes for the season. High hopes for the season. Very high hopes. Very high hopes for the season. Right? We figured the addition of Kemba Walker would be the wind beneath our wings, so to speak. Right? We figured adding a homegrown talent like Kemba Walker, man, they played the tribute to Kemba Walker. It was beautiful. The coming home thing, the kid, the storyline, the kid from the Bronx coming home to end his career, bring a title to the city on his way out the door, helping a bunch of people on their last legs. Tibbs, Coach Tom Thibodeau, potentially his last job. The story is so romantic when you hear it, right? The story is so romantic when you think about it. You know, this is Tibbs' last job. This is his dream job. You bring in, you know, the Worldwide Wesses. You bring in a bunch of people that have connections. So we'll put this thing together. The emergence of RJ Barrett. Kaiser Salsa is in the building. What's good? A lot of things going on, man. A lot of things at the beginning of the season that we don't look back on them now in a positive light, but when they were happening in real time, we loved it. We loved it. We loved it. Right? A lot of things in real time. We loved it at the beginning of the season, man. Knicks PR is the GOAT. I don't care when nobody say. A lot of y'all say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I'm here to tell you, Knicks PR is the GOAT. Knicks PR is the GOAT. At the beginning of the season, we had high hopes. And so at the beginning of the season, all the cliche things were used, right? And in a weird way, excuse me, in a weird way, you heard. So basically, to sum it up, it's like that story about the ant and the rubber tree plant. Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. When you tell an ant that he can't move a rubber tree plant. You know what I'm saying? The mighty Knicks out of nowhere finally put it together. They weathered the storm against the Giants, and all they needed was one finishing piece in order to get them at the table with the big boys. And Kemba Walker is that missing piece. And he's from our city. And we get him here. And he's so proud to be here. His mom and his sister are crying because they finally get to see Kemba play in home games. They don't have to be on the road and all these things. Right? And then Evan Fournier. And then moving on to Evan Fournier. We finally get a shooting guard with size and can knock down shots consistently. We get a shooting guard that can play the Euro game. You know what I'm saying? That plays the Euro game. Now it's like Fournier and Kemba together, the dynamic point guard, accompanied by the Euro guy that can add the sauce to Tom Thibodeau's dry offense. Right? Right? And then all of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute. This backcourt can be something special because we have a dynamic former all-star at point guard to go with a dynamic former all-star point guard as the backup in Derrick Rose. And now you add Evan Fournier to the mix, the Euro guy. He can be our Ginobili type player to add the sauciness and nuance to Tom Thibodeau's dry offense. Right? A bunch of things. So at the beginning of the season, the Knicks look like, well, maybe last year wasn't a fluke. Maybe last year was a stepping stone to something greater. Ron, what's good? I see Ron, still Knicks fans, is in the building. What's good? So you add Kemba Walker, and you have Evan Fournier, right? To Derrick Rose, Alec Burks. And mind you, remember how high we were on Emmanuel Quickly at the beginning of the season based on how he performed last year. Last season, we were super high on Emmanuel Quickly, right? Is Emmanuel Quickly better than Obi Toppin? Could this be we found a sleeper in the draft? Yo, Tricky Nicky is in the building. What's good? Do what he say. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. What's good? So you got Kemba, the prodigal son, coming home to save the Knicks. And he's accompanied by the Euro sensation, just not coming off the his appearance in the World Championship, whatever games, where he looked like a marvel. And we were like, yo, are we getting that guy to come here to New York and play with us? This is amazing. Jay Boogie,
What's good, my brother?
how you doing?
Late tonight, get ready to make it into an early morning. What's up, man? What you doing?
Bam, bam. Yes, sir. So I'm recapping the beginning of the season. I'm recapping the first half of the season for the Knicks. Can you hear us? You good? Felipe 210 is in the building. Johnny Davis is in the building. What's good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
I'm gonna go back out and come back in.
All right. So we signed Kemba. Kemba is manna from heaven, just showed up out of nowhere. Wasn't in the plan. He shows up. He needs a home, and we need somebody to live with us. So it was like the perfect combination, right? And then Tibbs goes in, or the front office drafts 4 rookies. 4 rookies, right? It's crazy because at the very beginning, when we did these joints, the Knicks and Night podcast and other things, I was told by panelists that the Knicks would never draft 4 rookies. Wrong. The Knicks will never bring in 4 rookies. That's too many. Tibbs would go crazy. Wrong. Yo.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you now. My bad, man. I didn't know what was going on, man. Yeah, man.
Ain't nothing to it, bro. Ain't nothing to it. The promise, Jay Boogie, the promise at the beginning of the season, as we look back on the previous 59 games, or before the 59 games, and we just look back at how we felt about the team going into the season, not how we feel now, but going into the season, we draft 4 rookies. We bring 3 of them into the season with us. One of them is, tasked to play overseas because he signed a contract or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 1 rookie is overseas. We get Kemba from the Bronx, New York.
Right.
Soundview. Wow. Like, this dude's not from Wichita, Kansas, or Omaha, Nebraska, anything like that. This guy is from where we from, basically. He is us.
Right.
And we are him. And we get him off the proverbial scrap heap. And we're thinking, well, the only reason why Oklahoma City Thunder cut him is because they're doing a youth movement. Right? And they have 4 young point guards that they're trying to develop. So they don't have room for a veteran, a guy like Kemba. This is our thinking. You know, they have Trey Mann, T.O. Maladon, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey. They don't need an old man like Kemba Walker getting in the way of their development.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want to develop their young guys. They're not ready to contend. Right? So that's why they bought him out. Right? That's why they bought him out. That's our thinking. We got 4 hot shot rookies. One of them is playing overseas, balling. That's what we're thinking. We have Evan Fournier to add the sauce to a dry Tom Thibodeau offense. We know that Kemba and Fournier may not be good defenders, but so what? Tibbs will overcome that. And we looked for R.J. Barrett to take the next step. Right? We're like, R.J. is going to take this next step, man. You know, down the stretch last season, he looked like he was ready to take the next step. Right?
Go ahead.
And Julius Randle, a dude that averaged 24, 10, and 5. I can't remember the exact numbers, but whatever. 24, 10, and 5. All-star team. Second team NBA with LeBron James. He on an all-NBA team with LeBron James.
That's right.
Bro, you know the 21-22 season is about to be off the chain. We got rid of Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton? Man, we got rid of Elfrid Payton. Oh, this team is about to take off. We didn't sign Reggie Bullock back, but that's okay. Because in the grand scheme of things, you can't keep everybody.
Right.
You know. But this dude, Grimes, looks like he can do what Bullock does and more. So to speak, this is our thinking back then. Of course, I'm thinking today is something different, right? But thinking back then in the moment, we're thinking like, man, if Grimes can do what Reggie Bullock did, and we got Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker, and a bouncy young big to go with Mitchell Robinson. Oh, this season is about to be off the chain. And then we fast forward to the preseason and we go 4-0 undefeated. So then the spark is lit. Right? Because losing on any level brings you back to reality. Winning on any level makes you dream. Right? Winning on any level, think about all the possibilities. Oh my goodness. We won because okay, so at the end of last season, and I don't know if Knicks fans remember this or not, but at the end of last season, the last 20 games, the Knicks went 16-4. They were hot as fish grease down the stretch.
Grease.
Right. And nobody wanted to see the Knicks. Nobody wanted to see the Knicks. And those 4 losses, they were close games. Remember, we lost to the Lakers in overtime last year. Right? We lost to the Lakers in overtime last year. I don't know if y'all remember this, but but Wesley Matthews got a tip-in at the buzzer because Derrick Rose didn't box out. And the game went into overtime and they beat us. But Randall roasted Anthony Davis in that game in Los Angeles last year in overtime.
Exactly.
Right? And so we're like, yo, Randall has flaws, but on any given night, he's a top 20 player. On any given night, he's a top 20 player. This is our thinking. He's a building block, a foundation piece. All we have to do is just add, build, and we can be something. We were thinking at the end of last year that we could potentially be a second round pick team. If everything went right this year, we could be a second round pick team. Spree, what's good?
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
What's happening,
Good.
man? How you doing, Spree?
I'm living life, man. Just chilling. Just trying to.
That's great. That's great.
I'm just hanging in there, man. Just trying to lay low. How you been?
Man, I'm good, man.
Good.
I'm healthy.
man.
I'm healthy. You know, my family good. My bills is good. Shoot. I'm all right.
Yeah, man.
That's
I
good.
feel where you're coming from, Freezy, a whole lot. Because I'm definitely one of those ones that I knew coming into the season, I knew he was top 6 at the worst.
At worst.
At the worst. I
Right.
do know, like, when Reggie left, I was one of the ones that's like, okay, maybe I'll take Burks more than Reggie because he can play some defense, but he could put the ball on the floor. He could do multiple things, some things that Reggie couldn't do.
Right.
But also knew that coming in, Evan was a little bit more better scorer than Reggie. I thought he was a better shooter, but I knew he was a better shooter, but I thought he was a better scorer. You know what I'm saying?
There's a
Able to put the
difference.
ball on the floor a little bit more. And the most important thing that I was really feeling, what I felt good about the about Kimber coming in on the team, and then we getting Deuce, and we still got IQ, we still got RJ, we still got those guys that can, put the ball on the floor. I felt good about Derrick Rose because I know last year we wore him down. I knew we had guys this year now, he could get a break. He had to do so much. You know what I'm saying? Kimber can really give him his breather, rest his body a little bit, not
Right.
kill his knees and everything. We killed that man last year, man. Killed that man. So, really, I looked at us coming into this season, man. I looked for us to make a strong push up into that second round this year.
Yeah.
I looked for us to straighten our face and get the hometown fans, you know what I'm saying, a first round victory. I look for all that, man. You know what I'm saying? I saw the high hopes for that. And I'm trying to ride the momentum of that direction that we was coming on. We came off an historical year last year.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Outside of Milwaukee winning the championship and outside of Atlanta beating us in the first round and outside of the Phoenix Suns getting to the chip,
Right.
we had the fourth best season last year. The fourth best out of all the teams in the league. What, 32 teams?
30. Yeah.
30 teams. We had the fourth best season last year out of all them teams, man.
Right.
But
right.
here I am, ready to, you know what I'm saying, bounce back with the team. Ready to, like, you know what I'm saying, watch and see what they're going to do. Give me some more high hopes, you know what I'm saying, and giddy ups, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Play my role in my, you know what I'm saying, my position as a loyal person to this New York Knicks organization.
Right. Right. And so the thing is, we saw the warning signs all along the way, but we ignored those signs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We ignored those signs, man, because we're Knicks fans. And as a Knicks fan, ordinary rules don't apply to us. You know what I'm saying? Ordinary rules don't apply to us. Like, what do y'all go into the game for? Your team is only 500. Nah, bro. That's why you go to the games. That's why MSG gonna be packed, because they need us. They need us to get over the hump. They need to hear me cheer, because my cheer means something. My boos mean something. It inspires them, right? So we saw the Eastern Conference get a lot better. Each team did stuff incrementally, like, you know what I'm saying? The Wizards, Sun, and Dinwiddie, a whole bunch of stuff. Cleveland getting better. They were projected to be better. We never thought they'd be this good. Nobody. Yeah, any liars in here? If you're a liar, tell me that you saw the Cleveland Cavaliers being this good.
Yeah, stand up,
Right?
please.
Stand up. Let us know you in here. Right? Don't let us look for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
I didn't. No, and I'll admit that.
and so we saw like the signs. We like, I mean, the Toronto Raptors were playing at home again as opposed to playing in Florida. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff, but we ignored all of that in order to keep our dream alive, to keep our dream of a 3 or 4 seed, maybe a 2 seed alive. Maybe we can win 50 games. That's one of those thoughts. Like maybe we can sneak up on the league again and win 50 games. The season starts, and then our first game of the season, we go into double overtime versus the Boston Celtics and beat them. A rival. This team is better than us. This team has everything that the Knicks want in the organization, except the point guard, right? They don't have the point guard, or didn't have the point guard at the time. But they had the defensive-minded combo guard, the captain, basically, like the heart and soul of their team, and Marcus Smart. They got the scoring machine off the wing, a 6'8" scoring machine in Jason Tatum, right? And they also have Tricky Nicky, what's good? And they also have an athletic freak on the wing in Jaylen Brown, right? And the Knicks have none of that. And we jealous, man, basically. Man, if we could get, I wish we had a franchise player, a generational talent. And we don't. And then some things went wrong along the way. And right now, here we are. So Spree, let me ask you this, Spree. Where did things go wrong in the first half?
I think it was a snowball effect. I think it's not one person. It's you know, I start with the leader of the team, or the guy last year who really carried the ship, the engine. So Julius didn't play up to the level early. The shooting came down. We knew the 3 ball at 40%, that probably wasn't going to happen, but no fans in the stands. Maybe he shot it better because I don't know. His shooting came down back to the mean. I thought the decision-making was questionable. I didn't think that improved. Kemba isn't the answer. So that was what went wrong there, was the front office did not get us a point guard. So point guard is a big problem. And Evan is streaky. The team is too inconsistent, and Tibbs has been inconsistent with what I'm trying to get done here. We can't ignore a Cam Reddish when we trade for him. We just can't do that. So there's problems, but it doesn't mean that we can't fix the problems. It just, we have to fix them and use it to our advantage now that we know where we are. We have to become realistic again and build this thing the right way again. because we aren't that team right now. So this may be, while it's a reality check, Freezy, I still think there's a pathway to create something special. It's just not going to happen this year.
Okay. All right. Hey, Tricky Nicky, what's good? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
What's
I
up, Trent?
I totally agree with Spree. Like, I just feel like we thought there was moments in the season where, like, okay, we can be good, but being so inconsistent and having a coach that's not going to put in these young guys at times, I think he should play more minutes like OB and IQ for sure. We're not that good anymore. And we're not going to be that good for a while. But I do agree with Spree when he's pointing out the fact that I think we got a lot of picks yet. We got a lot of young talent. I don't know if the coach or the head front office is the direction in which we change this team. But I would say I think we got the youth, we got the picks, and there's a chance this team could be good in the near future, but it ain't gonna be this year.
Yeah. So we were, and we were speaking to what went wrong this season. So if we speak to what went wrong this season, what do you think it was an offensive philosophy that may have gone awry that got RJ Barrett off to a slow start? Do you think it was just poor roster construction at the outset that we didn't recognize?
I'm really big on we should have kept Bullock. I believe him over Burks would have helped us defensively. Kept some of that because Burks hasn't performed all year long. And then I'm a big believer bringing in Kemba and taking those minutes away from Rose and our young guys was a mistake. That was a mistake. And then the only thing I can say about Fournier, he's maybe played in 4 or 5 good games for us this year, and it was all against Boston. It wasn't against anybody else.
Right. Okay. So I'm in the mindset of this, where things went wrong for us is the dependence on the 3-point shot.
Interesting.
That's where I think things went wrong, because the 3-pointer shot us into games and it shot us out of games. So you see us during the first half of the season, you'd see us create these huge mega leads. The Knicks up by 24 with such and such and such, right? And then the 3-pointer would go cold, and then you'd see us miss. The other team get the ball in transition, run the other way, and score. The lone defender back is Kemba Walker or Evan Fournier, who are not defenders in the half court or in transition, right? And so you saw us as the 3-point shot went, so did the flow of the game, so did our team. Now, I know that sounds like a cop-out, but listen, there were stretches in the beginning of the season, and you saw it this week, the stretches where the Knicks would shoot 65, 70% from 3 over like a 8, 9, 10-minute stretch, right? And then you see us shoot 0% from 3 for a 8, 9, 10-minute stretch. You feel me? And so what that does is it creates this false thing. Like you see us be up by 24, 21, 19. Why are we still shooting the 3 if we're up by that many points? You feel me, Spree? Because what happens is if you take those 3s up by 19, right, and you miss, the other team gets it in transition. Now the other team starts to build the momentum. Now you can't stop them, because we know in the NBA is a game of runs. And when, just like we went on a run, another team will go on a run also. And I think that's part of the thing that hurt us.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm with you on the reliance of the three, but like we can't get in the paint. We can't stop anybody from getting in the paint, and we can't get in the paint. Kemba's knees are shot, and when Kemba does get in the paint, Freezy, he doesn't go for the layup. Just throws it back out like he's scared.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like when you attack the paint in that Lakers game, or you're on a fast break, and you're like you pass it off behind you. To me, that's not that doesn't work for me. So
Right. Right. Hey,
if
bro,
I,
you
yeah,
have you? Let me ask you this:
yeah,
have you ever saw a dog chase a car?
yeah, I have.
Right. But the physical the question, the philosophy question is: even if the dog catches the car, what is he gonna do with it?
He's not going to do anything.
That's Kemba getting into the paint. You get in the paint. Now, what are you gonna do
Yeah,
when you get there?
yeah,
Right?
it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's one of our corporate attorneys told me that one time, and he was like, "Uncle Freezy, listen, this is the dog chasing the car." I was like, "What?" He's like, "This is the dog chasing the car." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, think about it. Even if the dog catches the car, what is he gonna do with it?" I was like, "Exercise in nothing,
Yeah.
basically."
I mean, I'm more concerned right now. I don't mean to switch topics, but I don't know. I'm confused because Tibbs has a reputation of being incredible his first year. Second year, it goes bad. Third year, no buy-in, and it fizzles out, and the guy's gone everywhere he's been. Like
Right.
that's how it was in Minnesota. Like, and I loved Tibbs last year, and I defended him, and now I can't do that based on what I'm seeing. So I'm a little bit confused, and I've been a little bit silent because I've been disappointed.
Okay.
So where are you at, Freezy?
I am what they call apathetic
Okay.
with a small sliver of optimism. Not enough to make me do anything, right? Because apathetic means the complete opposite of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm apathetic with a sliver. So I'm 98% apathetic, 2% optimistic. That's where I am. I'm at a point. If the Knicks lose all the rest of their games, I don't even care. The only thing I care about is that there'll be another season next year. I know this one is gone. What about
Just
you?
disheartening. It's very disheartening. You know, when you think about it as a Knicks fan, we look at this season and we all had amazing high hopes, expectations, and I was one of them. I thought we'd get 50 wins, you know, at least. And
Right.
for us to just be at a point this year where we're looking at like, oh, you know, we're just taking a sigh and we're like, well, it's probably over, you know.
Right.
That's bad. And it's disheartening as a Knicks fan. We've been waiting years and years and years to be good, and to be good somewhat last year, coming to this year with some expectation, and then to know that really we're not as good as we thought we were.
Right.
It's disheartening, but at the same point, I will say this: I'd rather know where we're at than believe in something, you know, that is false and where I think we could have been. So with Tibbs though, Tibbs ain't gonna make it. He might make it till the end of this year, in my opinion. And I think Tibbs will be the first to go, but I think you can't put it all on him. You got to put it on Leon. You got to put it on Mills. You got to put on that whole front office on what's going on there and the way they're playing these guys, especially right now. Especially when we know we got like the I think it's the second hardest schedule in the league or something like that is what I'm
Right.
hearing. And we're playing these teams that are tough, and we're sitting back in the 14th spot, like 4 games out of a play-in.
Right.
Why are we playing our vets? Why?
Right. Right. And that's what we are. That's what we are today, man. And to recap what happened at the beginning of the season, there are a lot of things that went wrong. And we had no idea that we were going to get to this place right here where some of us are apathetic and may call it a different word. They may describe, but it's one of those where, you know, a lot of us are just ready to give up on the season. You know.
So I'm just saying this. I agree with Tricky Nicky. It's not just Tibbs. Tibbs, yes, he's been bad. We got to play our young players. I mean, every team in the NBA has young guys. You have to develop them, especially in this current situation we are in. But I in no way am. The front office deserves blame too. Julius deserves blame. Evan and Kemba are not it. But the front office, here's the reality. World Wide West was brought in here. I don't care what anybody says. People know World Wide West around the league, okay?
Right.
He was brought in here to get us a star player.
Yes.
Eventually.
Right.
Eventually. I'm a realistic person, Freezy. I realize it can't happen overnight, even with the World Wide West. However, I need him to do his job.
Right.
Like if he doesn't get us a star player soon, this offseason, next year's trading deadline, then what are we doing here?
What was the point? What was the point?
Correct.
Of bringing a non-professional, non-NBA level guy in here?
I mean, no disrespect to him at all. Like, because like connections, relationship, like that all matters in this thing. But like, if I don't see you bring in that guy, why are you here?
Right. Why go through the exercise? Andre Bryant says the only blame Randall gets is being too talented to not let none of the better than him. Now, I don't understand that one, AB. But listen, guys, I'm gonna rock for a few more minutes. I ain't gonna be here long. I didn't intend to be. I just want to jump on just real quick and occupy the space a little bit since we hadn't been here. But as usual, it's been a pleasure, right? But before that, what I want to do is see Tricky Nicky. You got anything that you want to let the world know about this Knicks team before we get out of here?
I guess what I would say is, like, even when I know there's a game on TV, I'm about to watch it, I'm already expecting a good first start to the half. And then I'm going to watch us build that lead, and we're going to lose it again. We're going to do that all year unless they play these young guys and just let us be bad to begin with. Give them some minutes, give them some time, let them get some grind in, because even if we got in, say, to a playing game and maybe we win one, we're an 8 seed, we ain't going nowhere with this roster and with Julius Randle playing the way. I just feel like Julius Randle played better after he realized he wasn't being traded, but without having RJ there and everything, we're not.
And Derrick Rose.
Yeah, we're not a playoff team without those guys. It's devastating. But no, I will say this: keep your heads up, Knicks Nation. We got this. We'll figure it out. It's just keep on honoring it. You know, Knicks for life.
Okay. What about you, Spree?
Yeah, I'll be very brief in my comments. We need to become tougher. I agree with Tom Thibodeau. We have guys right now that can play the game. They don't think the game. When you have blow 20-point leads in 3 games or whatever it is, you're not thinking the game. You're not using the clock. You're not getting the right shots to execute against and
missing 3-pointers.
Yeah, missing 3-point. Like, and Derrick Rose is a big part of it. When you take away a Derrick Rose who's clutch and can get guys calm like a Jason Kidd did for Carmelo, like a great floor leader. And I don't care what anybody says about Derrick Rose. The guy is unselfish.
Right.
This notion that Derrick Rose is a selfish player is garbage. I just want to put that out there. But we have young players that are not tough enough right now. We have to get tougher. We have to get smarter, and that includes both coaches and players. Smarter means both the players, the coaches, the front office. Nobody here gets a piece of it. And I'll just say this: we had this All-Star break coming up. We have to change our approach to the season. We have to play all our young players. We have to really help them. And then this offseason, they got to kill it. The front office has to kill it and get us back to where we can compete again with Julius. That's all.
Where? Like, what's the move? What are the moves?
Well, I don't get paid to tell you the move. I'm just saying they got to get it done.
No, we hanging out. I'm not asking you to be a pitch perfect professional for an organization. I'm asking you as a fan what the move is.
We need a point guard. A point guard that is consistent on a nightly basis. I don't need a superstar point guard. We need a consistent, legitimate NBA prototypical point guard that can beat guys off the dribble, that can keep their man in front of him, that can pressure the ball. We need a good shooting guard that's not old, that's not slow, that's a traditional NBA. That guy may be Cam Reddish. I don't know. I think Cam Reddish has a lot of potential. I'd like to see him play.
Right.
We need a point guard to help Obi out. We need to stop making Obi just a three-point shooter and then yank him out of the game after he misses a couple shots. How is that helping him develop?
I agree.
We need a coach to change. We need a coach to change. All of these things have to be addressed for me to create a pathway for me to see this team ever win a championship. That's all I got.
G Money, what's good?
What's going on? Spree has some good points. I mean, we need a point guard that could run an offense. I even think I don't know if we're going to keep Mitch or not. I don't know. But if heaven forbid we do lose Mitch, we need a bit that can stretch the floor and also a bit that can shoot free throws. I mean, I love Mitch. Don't get me wrong. But if Mitch somehow does leave for another team, we need a big man that can space the floor, can hit free throws, can rebound, that can protect the rim. Because I feel that the paint gets clogged with Mitch. Look, Mitch is athletic, free, that can also protect the rim. But we also need a big that can also space out. And, another reason why we underachieved, like, have you guys been noticing that we've been walking the ball off the floor, walking the ball up the court, every time we have these big leads? It's like they don't keep sharing the ball. Like, look at the last few games, right? The Lakers game, you're up 21, you blow that game. You okay, Freezy?
I'm good.
Oh, thank God. Maybe you could take some water a little bit, though.
Yeah, I got some popcorn with red pepper flake.
Gnarly.
And sea salt. No butter.
Whoa.
Big guys got to eat healthy, man. I'm a big boy, 6'5", 353.
Do you like the white cheddar popcorn? You ever eat that?
No, I'm vegan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So the Lakers game, we blew a 21-point lead. The Jazz game, we had a 12-point lead twice. We lost that, and the Jazz did not even have Rudy Gobert. We got waxed by the Nuggets without Michael Porter and Jamal Murray. We had an awesome win in Golden State, but I gotta be honest with you, we also got a bit fortunate because let's be realistic. If Curry makes that layup, if Clay makes the mid-range, or if Kuminga doesn't get called for a goaltend, we might have lost that game. But hey, we pull out that win, and then we blew a 23-point lead to the Blazers without C.J. McCollum, Robert Covington, Damian Lillard, Norman Powell. I'm being funny here. Sabonis, Rasheed Wallace, Scottie Pippen,
Clyde Drexler,
Barry Porter, Bill Walton, etc. We lost that. We blew it that game, and then against Thunder, we blew an 11-point third-quarter lead with our SGA, Lou Dort, Kevin Durant, Mike Muscala, James Harden, etc. And then we blew a 28-point lead at home to the Nets without KD, Harden, Simmons, Kyrie, Chris Humphries, Joe Johnson, Derrick Williams, etc. It's like
Dr. J,
Jason Kidd, etc. J Kidd, etc. So my point I'm saying is that we got to learn how to share the ball, rebound, crash the glass, and we got to learn to play 48 minutes. We don't play 48 minutes. Last year's team played 48 minutes almost every night. Yeah, we had a lot of flaws, but we played 48 minutes every night. This year's team, man, is like when they have these double-digit leads, they tend to go away what was working. They start to shoot a bunch of threes, like the Thunder game. What was the point shooting 53s against OKC? That was idiotic.
Right.
That was idiotic. And then. And here's what's sad, right? Julius Randle's actually played better as of late. Yes, I know he's been struggling here and there in the fourth, but Julius Randle's actually played well as of late.
I agree.
Evan Fournier had a big game against OKC, and yet we wasted those performances. Yes, they made mistakes. They did, but I'm just saying. And then the problem with this team is that Tom Thibodeau's coaching has been really questionable. I don't like his adjustments, man. Remember against Brooklyn, what was the point taking out Quigley and subbing in Burks? What was the point? Like that was just idiotic there. And we lost to Cam Thomas. We lost to Cam Thomas on Wednesday. Against OKC was Trey Mann and Josh Giddey and Derek Favors. Against Portland, it was Anthony Simons and Justice Winslow and Ben McLemore. The Lakers, Malik Monk.
G-Money, it's there's no leadership on the floor with these blown leads. That's what it is. We don't have leadership on the floor.
Nope. No leadership, no accountability. There's no accountability. Last year's team was accountable. Last year's team had a leader. This year's team, who's their leader? You know what I mean?
They're just playing. They're not thinking the game. There's no if Derrick Rose was here, I can't guarantee we'd win those games, but that helps direct people.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say, one of the things we have a misnomer, right? We have a misnomer. One misnomer is that Quentin Grimes is a great defender.
Yes.
I think that's a misnomer. I think he is a potentially good defender with more upside to be a great defender down the road.
Right.
But if you like what G Money said, and listen, G Money is an almanac. G Money is a G. I respect his knowledge. Listen to what G Money is saying, y'all. Listen to what he said. He mentioned Malik Monk, a 6'4" guard. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a 6'4" guard that's supposed to be a defensive stopper, Quentin Grimes. How did that work out?
Got torched that game.
Anthony Simons.
Got torched in the second half.
How did Trey Mann?
Got torched.
Right. And who was the last team we played? Who's the last?
Nets.
Cam Thomas. Right?
Torch in the fourth quarter.
So if we have a defensive stopper, where is he?
Good point.
Yeah, that's true.
He's in depth.
Right. And these guys are not. And so and think about the matchup. These guys are not 6'7" and tower over him. They're not 6 foot. They're not Allen Iverson. These guys are the same size as Quentin Grimes, 6'3"-ish, 6'4"-ish.
Pretty much
that range, right? And they torched our defensive guy, right?
True.
And so as Knicks fans, we have like 1,000 built-in excuses. Like instead of saying our defense in the backcourt surrendered the lead, we point to Thibodeau. Tibbs, it's his fault for.
It's everybody's fault. Everybody's fault.
It's everybody's fault, bro.
It's everybody's fault.
As a coach, you can only do so much from the sideline,
right?
Exactly.
Because think about this: if he would have snatched Quentin Grimes off that matchup and put in Burks to go with more offense, people would have been saying Tibbs doesn't like playing the kids.
I agree.
So it's like. And quickly is not absolved of any of this because Quickly is a 6'3" guard that defends, right? Quickly is culpable also. Like these guys, all these guys that we say are defenders, bro, we have to start putting the blame on these guys in these individual matchups.
Right.
Anthony Simons, Trey Mann, Cam Thomas, Malik Monk. Bro,
Royce O'Neal in the fourth quarter.
Oh, jeez.
I agree, but I'll just say this though: like we have to stop this. Like I respect everybody in the media, and Ian Begley's a good reporter. If he heard it, I believe him. I don't like it coming out that World Wide Wes went to Dolan and said Tibbs is the problem. everybody's the problem right now.
Everyone.
We stink right now.
The coach, the players, the front office.
Don't just point the fingers. We all know what Tibbs not doing well. We watch the games. Everybody knows it. But you got to be on the same page, man. Like coaching, front office, I'm not saying I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I believe Ian Begley, if he reported that, he heard that. I'm just saying it's everybody's fault. Stick together and fix it together yourself. Don't just put it all on one guy. I don't like that, man.
Or leave.
Say that last part.
Or leave. If you can't fix it, move out of the way and let somebody else do it.
I agree. I mean, like I'm saying, like that's fine if you want to go to Dole and say Tibbs is the problem. I think Tibbs has been a big problem. But you got to take ownership of what happened in the front office this offseason. Take ownership, Julius Randle. Take ownership, Evan Fournier, who I paid, who shows up for me once every other night. Take leadership.
You know, him saying that too is like almost making him look really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right.
They all got to fix it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like Worldwide West. It's your job to tell Dolan what's going on. Fix it.
Another thing too. We don't double team the hot hand. When Cam Thomas was hot, why didn't you just get the ball out of his hands? Like he's killing you in the mid range and the three and the drive and the offensive boards. Against the Thunder, why didn't you just double team Trey Mann? I mean, even you know what's so crazy? We all know Josh Giddey's a nice tank and pass. He can go to the rack. But did you know he was shooting around 26% from three? He was hitting threes in that game.
And he was 3 for 3 against us.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. And even in overtime, we didn't box out Derek Favors, an old ass Derek Favors. No disrespect to Derek Favors.
But we never do that, G-Man. We never, like, in all these games that we lose the same way. We lose all these games the same way. Julius Randle standing, ball watching. Like, box your man out, man. Just, like, finish the game. Like, have some pride and do the right things at the end of the game. Don't just ball watch. You're not eating popcorn with my guy Latrell Sprewell in the front row.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
Who was the guy on Orlando? Cole Anthony?
Cole Anthony, another 6'3" guy.
Like, we saw these signs early in the season, you know.
No Wagner went off too.
Good point. Yeah.
You know, we saw these signs with our defense early in the season, and these young guards coming in and just John Morant, I can understand, you know, but when you got guys like this that are not proven NBA typical superstars coming in and getting triple doubles on us, then you start to look at, you know, what's going on here with this team. And
we should have got DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
DeRozan would have been that. I know DeRozan is inconsistent in the playoffs, but DeRozan would have been that go-to guy in the regular season at least.
He's playing so well right now.
For a Bulls team that's tied for number one.
And they're not even giving him any credit though for the way he plays his defense. Like he's doing it all.
Right. Hey, and you know what, G Money, to your point. To your point, you said DeMar DeRozan is inconsistent in the playoffs, right?
But good in the regular season.
Yeah, and to your point, to the point that you just made, our goal was never to win the championship outright. Our goal was to make the playoffs.
Pretty much,
So if you get to the playoffs and DeMar DeRozan is there, you accomplish goal number one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I kind of wanted Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan.
That would have been nice. Lonzo would have dished the rock, could hit improved his 3-point shot, can go athletic.
I'll be honest. Like if we would have taken Chicago's backcourt and put them on the Knicks, I think we would be in a much better spot right now.
More than I agree.
That's just my opinion.
No, I agree. DeRozan can hit the mid range. He even worked on his 3-point shot a little bit, and he's athletic too, and he can pass himself, improve passing now compared to where he was early in his career. That would have helped though. Lonzo and DeRozan, this team would have helped. I like Kemba and Fournier, but it's like Kemba's old and has bad knees, and Fournier's just inconsistent.
Right. So
other than that, everything's great.
When I think about this team, I think about in this year's team, not total, not last year, not next year. When I think about the 2021-22 team, I think about the old Joni Mitchell song about how we paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yep.
That's what we did this year. Paradise was right there, bro.
Yeah.
And you want to make it better. You want to make paradise better. And now paradise is lost. Right? Right? All we had to do was just rock with what we had last year in a sense. not improve on it. It's like this dude I know, he took and I don't know, I'm gonna speak to this and I'm gonna sound like a cornball, but so what? He used to brag about a pair of jeans that he had, an old trusty pair of jeans, like he wear them on the weekends, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was back in Uncle Freezy. I had to wear the suit and tie every day to work type situation, and I don't miss that life for y'all. For that's the reason why y'all see me with Scullies and tees. I just did it to. It is what it is. The door's closed on that chapter, right? But he, it's like, man, I can't wait till we get off, man. What you gonna do tomorrow? Like, yo, I'm gonna get my favorite pair of jeans, and I'm gonna do such and such and such, you know. And it was like old pair of Levi's, man. Like when you have a pair of jeans that you have for so long, you break them in good. They go with everything. They go with a t-shirt. They go with a dress shirt. They go with boots. They go with sneakers. When you break them in good, man, it's like your favorite pair, right?
Mm-hmm.
This dude let a chick talk him into slashing the knees and spray painting stuff on the thighs. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep up with. I think this is like 2013, 2014. And I was like, yo, what the hell? He was like, yeah, my girl thought it would be a good idea. And I was like, yo, you ruined your favorite pair of jeans to do that. He's like, they're not ruined. I like them like this. With the knees not cut out, but you know how you slash the knees in your jeans or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, bruh, did you just do what I thought you were gonna do? Yeah, thought you did. Yeah. And so, like 8 months later, he broke up with the girl, right? Him and the girl are broken up, and they on the out. They just mad at each other. And then he looking at them damn jeans. Now he can't wear them nowhere because they remind him of her, right? Instead of keeping things the way that they were, right? And I know Spree can't speak to the denim jeans thing because I don't know what millionaires wear in their free time, but with us normal folk, we like to wear jeans. We like to wear jeans and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Denim.
Yeah.
And so now he look at them jeans and he like, Uncle Freezy, man, you was right. I should have called you. I was like, bro, sometimes when you have a good thing, just rock with it. Just leave good things as is.
Right.
You don't have to make it like a steak dinner. Bro, just because you had a steak dinner 10 times this year means you got to start having caviar with the steak all of a sudden to make it better. Or make it lobster. Nah, bro, a steak dinner is a steak dinner. Leave it as it is.
Freezy, can I ask you a question about that analogy?
Yes, sir.
So I'm when I go to a restaurant, I order the same thing every time. Like
Right.
I don't ask them to upgrade it. Like I'm good. Just give me the grilled salmon the way you've always done it. You don't need to like put some lemon butter sauce on there. Put it on the side like I like it.
Just
Yeah.
the usual.
Right.
Just give me the mashed potatoes and broth. I'm not asking you to. I'm not at Ruth Chris Steakhouse right now.
Right.
I'm getting my to-go order. I got to go back to Uncle Freezy's show. Just do it the right way.
Right.
Be consistent every day with the product.
You might go through McDonald's drive-thru, ask for extra pickle on your cheeseburger or your quarter pounder, but you ain't gonna do that at a steakhouse.
Right.
You'd be like, hey, give me my food.
Just don't. We didn't need to change it up. That's your point, man. Like just.
I get it. We could have just left it alone and maybe add a few tweaks, but not do too much.
Right. And so the thing is consistency and chemistry matter.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Anybody disagree?
No,
I agree.
I just don't know if Tibbs is the right coach.
That and we have to revamp the roster. It's both.
I don't mean to put it on him because I'm kind of talking on both sides because last year I praised him so much, but I'm seeing a lot of red flags that now makes me question everything.
Right.
That's where I'm at. When you said that, what's your reaction, Frieza? I think your word was apathetic. You're sitting back, just watching it.
Right.
That's like I'm like right now in a state of sadness where I'm back from it. Not sadness anymore because this is who we are right now. But like I'm just taken aback and saying, how are we going to fix this?
Hey, Spree, I got a question for you, Tricky Nicky.
What's up?
Do you think the players are turning on Tibbs? Because that's my concern.
No, I don't buy into that. That's an easy thing to say. Whenever a team is doing bad, you got media people that have to do their job and create storylines that the team has turned on Tibbs. Do I think some young players are not happy with not playing? No young player is going to be happy if they're not playing. So that's normal. If I had a young player that isn't happy with not playing, then they shouldn't be in the NBA. They should want to play. But I don't think they've turned on Tibbs. I do think that if they have any awareness at all, which they should by now, they know that this is kind of where they are, and apathy may set in, and they shouldn't do that because they're professionals. But I don't think they've turned on Tibbs. I think they know Tibbs is a good coach, but they just haven't gotten it done.
Right.
True.
That's just my opinion. I don't see that.
I was just wondering. Good point.
You have a good point. But another reason why we're struggling, we turn the ball over too much. We ball wash. Excuse me?
No, go ahead, bro.
Oh, we turn the ball over too much. We ball wash too much. We give up too many backdoor layups. And here's what's sad. Randall, yes, I know. Here's what's sad. Randall's actually played better as of late, and he's killing the post as of late after the slow start, and we still can't even get things done. And another problem with this team, they just don't they're just not having fun. They're just not having fun. Last year's team had a whole lot of fun. Last year's team sacrificed for one another. This year's team, there's more egos. Players not want to listen to Thibs. Thibs being stubborn. The front office not even talking to us about what's going on. Right. Stephen A. I know many people don't like Stephen A. But Stephen A's rant on Wednesday, he to me hit it around the money. Leon Rose not want to come to the media, tell what's going on. Thibs not making adjustments. The players not willing to change. Not willing to buy into the system. And this team is horrible. This team is horrible. It's like last year's team had so much hope and joy. Last year's team was sharing the ball. Yes, we were not great offensively, but we got better later in the regular season. We were great defensively. I understand we're 8th in defense this year, but when you use the eye test, the defense is not the same this year as it was last year. We were number 1 in points per game defense last year. It's like,
So G, let me break down what you said, because you did say a lot of stuff, and I think you have valid points, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that you mentioned, so let me speak to the one thing. I think us not having a defensive captain, a defensive quarterback, hurts us.
Yep.
Hurts us. Like for instance, I'll give you an example.
Randall should be that guy.
No, Randall can't be that, but Randall can't. But
he should be. He should be.
No, he shouldn't, man. And here's why, Tricky Nicky. Here's why. If you take on the entire offensive load, I don't feel like you should take on the entire defensive load also. Most teams have, say for instance, if Tricky Nicky is our leading scorer on offense and he directs the offense, then at the least Uncle Freezy can do is take over those same duties on the defense so we won't wear out Tricky Nicky, right? And so here's the thing. Last year, Reggie Bullock was that guy. And I'll give G-Money an example, right?
Yeah.
He was.
I'll give you an example. So the Knicks played the Chicago Bulls, right?
Yep.
And so there was the Bulls ran a play in which Lauri Markkanen was open for 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Bullock took his hand and pushed Julius Randle in the back. Go, 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 go. Right?
Communication.
So yeah. So Randle ran out and put his hands up. Lauri Markkanen makes the three, but it was the correct rotation. Right?
True.
So they run the next play. This time, Zach LaVine is there. Right? And Randle gets ready to go, and Bullock grabs his jersey. No. And Reggie Bullock goes out and put his hands up. Right? Because that would have been the correct rotation. You have a power forward guarding a power forward on the perimeter, right? Then the next time they run it, it's a wing player guarding a wing player on the perimeter, right? So what happened in that scenario is Reggie Bullock would direct people in the paint. Like he would be coming through chasing Zach LaVine. He'd grab Mitch by the jersey. No, stay here. Because he knew NBA offenses. He saw the Chicago Bulls offense in film study. Instead of having Mitch go running up top to guard Wendell Carter for three, he's like, no, stay here, because he knows Zach LaVine wants to cut back door and dunk. Right? And so this year, what you notice is that you don't have that now. Like, you don't have the guy to be like, no, Mitch, go get Jokic on the perimeter. Go. Right? So Jokic hits the threes in Mitch's face. Or Miles Turner hits threes in Mitch's face. Because Mitch, as a big, his first instinct is to protect the rim.
Right.
So if he feels like if he leaves, there'll be nobody there to, guess what? Protect the rim. Right? When Bullock was here, Bullock would be like, go. And then he'll go get Randall's man, and Randall will rotate back to protect the rim while Mitchell Robinson is not there. Right? And so these are the small, nuanced things of communication. You don't have a captain on defense, right?
Yep.
Now on the offensive side last year, you had guys, specifically Derrick Rose, on the floor with Randall late in games, right? They would take off Elfrid Payton and put Rose on the floor, right?
Yep.
And I saw this with my own eyes. I go to games, right? I just don't lean on what I see on TV. I go to these games. Whenever the Knicks play around me, I go to them. I don't care if it's in DC, Charlotte, Atlanta, wherever, Philly, wherever. I'll go see the Knicks, right? I saw Derrick Rose.
Uncle Freeze, you got to tell me when you go to DC.
Yo, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Bro, that's a bet. We definitely have.
Oh, we go to DC in April.
I'll
April
be there.
8th, I think.
All right.
Is it if it's a weekend, I'll be there. Is it a weekend?
Let me check.
If it is, let me know. I got you.
Let me bring up the schedule. Right? Give me some time.
Okay.
So the game in DC is on a Friday, actually.
I think I might make that, bro.
Okay.
But let's book that.
We'll talk.
Okay.
April 8th, Friday, April 8th at 7. Yeah.
Okay. Word. So hey man, I think I might do that, bro. But listen, so the point I'm getting at is this. On offense, with Derrick Rose is on the floor, what you'll see last year was Rose communicating with the young players. Quickly. Why are you trying to occupy the paint? Stay on the perimeter. You'll see him get get off the box and come back up here with us in case they trap. Because they would trap Derrick Rose, and now he's got the reverse dribble out of a trap, throw a pass to Nerlens Noel, who can't catch. Hopefully he catches it. Now you got 15 seconds left on the shot clock, and Nerlens Noel has the ball. And you're like, oh, God dog it. Now you have to hurry up and scramble and get the ball to a shot maker, Rose or Randall, and they have to make a move with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Right? Right. And so what happens is, in that scenario, we're like, yo, Tibbs did such and such, Tibbs did this, Tibbs did it. Nah. Your personnel was not in the place that they were supposed to be. You had to correct it and get a shot up before the shot clock expired. What does that have to do with Tom Thibodeau? You want him to play the kids, right? So I think a lot of times Tibbs gets the blame for stuff that he shouldn't get the blame for. You know what I'm saying? Because some of
True.
this, like for instance, we talked about Spree. You remember this? Us talking about the Kevin Knox on the box play. Obi wants to take off for the lob, but Kevin Knox is standing there. Remember that?
Yeah.
Some of that stuff had nothing to do with Tibbs. No matter how much you coach these kids up, if they make a mistake, you can't blame Tibbs. And then if Tibbs snatches him out the game, is frustrated and take him out the game, people will be mad at Tibbs for that too.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Some of it is definitely not Tibbs.
Some is on the players.
Yeah. Like what G Money said earlier. I think
that's what I'm saying, man.
I
don't think it's. I don't think when World Wide West went to Dolan, sure, say it Tibbs is a problem, but don't just include him. He's not
right, because Tibbs is not only the reason why Kemba can't make shots. Tibbs is not the only reason why Fournier is inconsistent. I mean, yes, I know Thibodeau's rotations can be a little questionable sometimes, but it's also the player's job for not. They just don't mesh. This team doesn't mesh. Like on paper, talent-wise, this team's nice on paper, but then on the court, eye test-wise, there's no communication. There's no accountability. The most accountable player New York Knicks all year has been RJ Barrett, really.
Right.
That's kind of sad.
Right.
Hey, I'm going to stop in, guys, real quick. I just want to say good night. I love you guys. Salute, Spree. Salute, G Money. Good talking with you.
Salute, man.
Salute, Uncle Preezy. Salute to the chat. Hit those likes, subscribe. Hit that reminder bell. Tricky Nicky is out for the night, but I will say this about our Knicks. We're still here. We're going to be fine. Give it some time. So it's going to take time. I think we got ahead of ourselves because of last year, and maybe we're 2-3 years away yet. So be patient. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Salute, right, Robbie. Peace. Salute. Peace. Salute, Tricky Nick.
Yeah, peace. So I get it. The easy answer for Knicks fans is to blame the man in charge. It's like when you go somewhere and you don't get the service you deserve. You don't want to speak to the customer service. You don't speak to the manager. You know what I'm saying? Manager ain't did nothing. The person is just a problem solver. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of those things. But I believe not having a Reggie Bullock type vet killed our season.
Yeah.
And so Spree, this is why I put some blame on the front office. When Derrick Rose was hurt playing through injury, the front office had plenty of time to acquire a veteran point guard because they knew Derrick Rose was going to go out for surgery, right? And they didn't. Their option was groom Emmanuel Quickly as the point guard in a deep six this season. Right. Not blaming Quickly, but at the same time, you could have went out and got any veteran point guard in the USA.
Rondo was available.
Yep.
I don't. Yeah. No, I hear you. I just Quickly is. I know what he is and what he isn't. I mean, it's all fine and dandy if we want to help him to try to play make more, because any guard in the NBA has to know how to pass the ball. Like, that's obvious. Like, that's basketball 101. But it's okay to admit he's not a point guard. Just
he's a two.
Let him be a microwave scorer off the bench. Yes, his shot has been awful, but like, you still got to play him. He's still valuable. I know what he is. He's still a helpful piece. Yeah, his shooting has been awful. I'm still playing him every night. He should play more than 20 minutes a night, but he's not a point guard. It's okay. Not everybody's a point guard.
Right.
That's okay. It's okay to admit that and get that guy. The first step to healing is to admit there's a problem and go and resolve the problem.
Acceptance, right.
Accept it. He's not a point guard. And fix the problem and go get one.
That was, in my opinion, that was mistake number one.
Yeah.
As soon as Derrick Rose had the ankle issues, and what I'm saying, I'm not saying surgery. I'm saying when Derrick Rose started missing games because his ankles, you should have went out and got a veteran point guard. Period. Right? Because you knew ankle surgery was coming. You knew ankle surgery was 2 or 3 weeks away.
We need a point guard in the draft. We need to get it. We need the best point guard in the draft. I don't know who that is, but just get me that guy. I'm not going to say I'm a college basketball expert. I'd be lying to our audience. I don't know all the names. I'm just saying they better get this right, man. I can't take this anymore. We have not had a legitimate NBA point guard here in a long time that can get us to where I need it to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So
AD was good, bro.
Hey, Uncle Freezy, what's good, family?
What's going on?
I'm chilling, bro. Excuse me. Excuse that. I'm good, man. Veteran point guard.
The last true, other than Rose, the last true veteran point guard was J Kidd. Other than Rose,
right? So I did like Jarrett Jack in his role.
He was decent.
Right? Yeah, not future of the franchise, but the mentorship of Jarrett Jack. I like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I know I'm old. I know I'm washed up. I'm just going to come in here and mentor somebody. Right. Mm-hmm. I felt like we could have went out and got a guy like that.
But Freezy, they didn't want that. As we talked about it early in the day, and as I was trying to tell Mr. Controversy, it doesn't matter where you thought you were, right?
Right.
It's that you arrived, you got to a certain place. So if your trajectory is, well, we're gonna do 5 years, no, you don't have 5 years.
Right.
A management staff has not had 5 years since they'd invented the word 5 years.
Right.
Why would you think that you had that? Like, just your planning was just so bad.
Yep.
It's just bad. And then we saw quickly in the preseason. I remember you making a point of it to point out quickly, in the point guard role and so forth and so forth. And at best, he was inconsistent.
Right.
And I'm being kind, because I'm like, he might have been a point guard in high school, in junior high school. That was 10 years ago.
Right.
He's not an NBA point guard today.
He's a shooting guard.
He's a shooting guard, and he's more so of a sniper, a specialist at that. The kind you bring in, the Vinnie Johnson microwave kind of point guard that you bring in that can get hot and give you, like how he scored 7 points the other night in like less than a minute.
Right.
That's who he is right now. I'm not saying that he can't be more than that, but right now that's who he is.
You know who I want him to be at this point after a season of evaluation? Joe Dumars. That's who I want Emmanuel Quickley to be. Joe Dumars. Right?
That's a Hall of Fame. That's a Hall of Fame player, Freezy. Really?
Right. But listen, he played to another Hall of Famer. Played beside him every day, Isaiah Thomas. Right? Isaiah Thomas could have averaged 38 points a game in the NBA if he wanted to.
I want him to be Lou Williams off the bench. Just be that sixth man, play your role, be a microwave scorer like the gentleman said, be consistent in that role. And that's what I think he needs to be. I don't see him as a starting point guard or a starting shooting guard, not right now. But he still needs to play 20 plus minutes. Salute, Colin.
Bro, so for one, Lou Williams will never be the defender Emmanuel Quickley is. Ever. Right? And Lou Williams, too, at his size, is not built like Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley is built like a safety. Lou Williams is kind of built like a corner. Slight Wayne Corbett size type dude. Slight. You have never heard people say Lou Williams and Strong in the same sentence. Right? So when I say, oh, you put Link in it. I'm sorry, Cully. I ain't see that, man. I'm in this popcorn, bro. It's popcorn with red pepper flake and crushed pepper something and a little bit of sea salt, bro. Banging, bro. But anyway, I say Joe Dumars type player because at his size, Joe Dumars could defend anybody up to about 6'6",
True.
right? And microwave scorer. Hey, listen, Klay Thompson scored some 30 points in a quarter or something like that.
37 against the Kings in the quarter back in 2015.
You know who held the record before Klay Thompson? Joe Dumars.
Wow.
Joe Dumars, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And so a microwave scorer does not do Joe Dumars any buckets on anybody.
Yeah, Dumars was good, man. No
Yeah,
doubt.
man. Yeah, man. The ultimate team player. Right? So, I mean, is that wishful thinking? I acknowledge it's wishful thinking, but right now I'm apathetic. My Knicks fandom is based in apathy right now. The only thing that's going to get me out of this basis of apathy is pipe dreams. Because who wants to endure the slow crawl back to just being good? Nobody. Y'all want to wait 10 years for us to get to 41-41? Oh, nobody does, bro. That's the reason why I dream so big. Yeah.
Like we're asking for dreams here of it just that's fair. I think we just need to see all these guys play and let's see it. Let's see what they are. Let them fail, let them succeed. The season is
the season's a wash in my opinion.
There is no reason to start Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, in my opinion, moving forward. None.
You can make a case.
I'm sorry. There's no reason to do that. They're not going to be here. Evan Fournier is not your starting shooting guard next year. If he is, then there's a real problem.
Who are you going to replace him with, though?
Again, I'm not the front office. I don't know who's available. I can't.
No. I'm talking about on our team right now. If they don't start after the All-Star break.
I think Cam Reddish should start.
Yeah. Isn't Cam Reddish there? Isn't Obi Toppin there?
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of team or the kind of Keystone Capers maneuvers that will have Randall win 5 games that they're not supposed to win. So then instead of drafting 10 through 13, they're drafting 19 through 25.
Okay.
And you in the play-in game. That's just sometimes, Freezy, and everyone out there, I'm never a tanker. I haven't scouted players in 3 years now because of how much I'm just so sick of every year we're doing this. But you have to be realistic. If management wasn't trying to win, who are we to sit here and say, well, we need to be thinking about winning? They're not trying to win.
Okay.
So if you're not trying to win, how am I going to say, well, we need to try to win? No, we follow your direction.
Right.
Not the other way around.
Right.
Because if it was the other way around, right now, James Dolan would have fired you guys already.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. I agree with you. I think
Cam should start.
Okay.
No question about it. I mean, let's see what he is. It's time to give Cam Reddish big minutes. He's a
give
player.
him big minutes. Come on.
Let's see what he is.
He attacks the basket. Come on.
Like, we got 20 games left in the season, whatever it is. It's just like, come on,
23. Man. Yeah, 23.
Roll him out there and give him 30-plus minutes a night.
How do you guys think we do the next 23 games if you're being realistic? You look at the schedule. I mean, we got let's see the next. Let me just do at least the next few games and then lead up to the road trip. All right, we got Miami next Friday. We got home against Philly next Sunday. We're March 2nd at Philly, and Harden might be playing by that time. At Phoenix, at Clipperland, at Sacramento, at Dallas, at Memphis, at Brooklyn. The only wins I see is maybe Sacramento, maybe, and the Clippers. But other than that, I don't see a lot of wins. What do you guys think in the next few games?
I'm not
That's
worried
rough,
about
bro.
that. I'm not worried about that. Like as far as what I see with that, it's a very hard schedule, but I don't really care about. I know that's wrong to say you should always want to win. I just care about our young players and seeing what we are. I'm not even concerned about what our record will be. I don't care anymore about that. That's not what this is anymore for me for these 23 games. This
Okay.
needs to be a complete understanding of future. All the young players play. They play consistent, heavy minutes. No reason to put Taj Gibson on the floor anymore. Thank you, Taj. I love you. I'm sorry. Taj should
Right.
not be playing over Obi Toppin at this point. It's a joke. I don't
Right.
care that Taj is a veteran savvy guy, but Taj is not going to be on the next Knicks championship team. I hate to break that to Mr. Tibbs.
This team's not a championship team. This team might not even make. This team's not even going to make the playoffs. And I'll be honest, I don't even think we'll make the play in. I don't see it. 3.5 back of Atlanta. Don't be surprised if Atlanta or Washington get going. I just don't see this team making the playoffs. Like the roster's flawed. There's no sense of urgency. Even if Rose and RJ come back, it doesn't solve your problems. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Thibs is going to overplay Rose, and Rose might get tired again and might get hurt. And then RJ, you saw the Salute Anthony. And you saw the BS with Thibodeau playing RJ the last few seconds against Denver. If RJ comes back, I mean, teams might be physical with him and might test out his ankle and Rose's ankle. So it's like, even if they come back, it doesn't solve all your problems. And Nolan's Noel, I'm pretty much done with Noel at this point. The dude's a walking. The dude's missed almost 40 games. The dude's missed almost 40 games this year. It's like he's a walking hospital bed. I don't know, man. I just don't see this team making the playoffs. I don't think we make the play in. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think what happens is this: if we play the kids and we lose a bunch of games, Tibbs will be unfairly judged, right? Because you have to play the kids and let them play through mistakes.
Good point.
This is bigger than Tibbs, though.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that point, right? And so what I'm speaking to is
I agree with you. He's going to be unfairly judged. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so the thing is, I think what keeps continuity and what keeps Knicks fans sane through this upcoming losing streak that we're facing.
What's that, Freezy?
Is the way that we speak to the fans, right? So when we go play Miami, say Miami beats us by 20, and Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, Jericho Sims all play significant minutes. I think what Tibbs should say after that loss, if it happens, is listen, the kids learned a valuable lesson tonight, and they will take this lump in stride and be better the next time that you see them. We are going to continue to groom these kids so that they'll be better from day to day. Don't look at what they'll be at next year. Look at them from day to day, right? These kids that we have, all of them, Quickly, RJ, Cam, Obi, McBride, Grimes, Sims, everybody. They are learning valuable lessons. So don't judge them on a 20-point loss. They're already down because they lost, but they learned and they got quality NBA minutes. They're learning on the fly. be patient with them. If Tibbs says something like that, then I can buy in. But if he says something like, no, we got to play harder. We came out with a lack of energy. We're not tough enough. That sounds like a coach desperate for answers. And if you're desperate for answers, that means you don't have any. So why not give another guy a chance?
Right. Be adaptable. Adapt to your lineups.
Right.
Like the smart Knick fan, I agree with Real King. What he says Tibbs will not be unfairly judged. We will know that he's playing younger guys. I mean, in a perfect world, Real King, I agree. Like, I won't unfairly judge him because we all recognize he should play the younger guy. But there, of course, our fan base is a little crazy. We will have some fans that still unfairly judge because that's just what we do here.
Splinters in your behind. Right, Freezy?
Right. All right.
But we just gotta. This is bigger than any one person. It's bigger than Kemba. It's bigger than Evan. It's bigger than Julius. It's bigger than any person, any coach, any front office. This is a future. The health of the franchise right now. This ain't about Tibbs being unfairly judged or like Tibbs may not be here. Tibbs has got to do what's best for the franchise right now, not what's best for him. Put egos aside. You said the same thing when you benched Kemba. You said the same thing about when you gave him. You got to do what's best for this franchise, this team. Period.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He needs to be open-minded and look what he has. Give some players some minutes. I'm not saying overutilize the young guys, but give them some minutes. We don't know what Cam is going to do until you play him more. Give Sims some minutes because Taj, he's a good defender, but this is an old Taj Gibson. This isn't Chicago Bull Taj Gibson back years ago. Rotate your lineups though. Put in the players that's actually playing well, and also the players themselves have to play up to their strengths. And they're not doing that right now. They're not.
There's no other NBA team that would play Taj Gibson 20-plus minutes a night. I'm sorry.
There would be no other NBA team with Taj Gibson on their roster.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, maybe a lifetime, I don't know. But you're right. Maybe he gets the Udonis Haslem deal, Freezy. But yeah, we got to be smart. I understand Taj is your boy. I love Derrick Rose, but Derrick Rose is up there in age too. I take nothing away. We miss Derrick Rose very badly. But
you guys are almost 40 years old, man.
These guys are up there in age, man. Derrick Rose ain't gonna be able to save us next year. Right. He's not gonna save us.
He'll be able to save us this year.
He's not gonna save us. He's not gonna save us when he's 50 years old. As much as I love Derrick Rose, that's the problem.
Rose might be gone. Who knows?
Yeah, hey, Spree, listen, you make me laugh sometimes when you say like nuanced stuff. It just make me laugh, bro. Like when you say nobody's coming to save us. And when you said that, I thought about Little Shop of Horrors. You ever saw the joint Little Shop of Horrors?
No, man, I haven't.
You remember the play Save Us? Somebody save us from the creature that devoured Las Vegas.
I haven't.
Oh man, so okay, I'm an old man. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, you are an old man, Freezy. And to your point, Freezy, about unfairly judging Thibodeau. How could you unfairly judge Thibodeau when we're watching him playing Taj Gibson, the kind of minutes he's playing Taj Gibson? That's not a mirage. That's really Taj Gibson from Brooklyn out there playing real meaningful minutes.
Yeah, Fort Greene, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a mirage. You can't unfairly judge him when he's playing a 36-year-old that kind of minutes. Whether we think that Obi is deficient in rebounding, okay. Whether we think he's deficient on defense, okay. He's the number 8 draft pick, playing sparing minutes.
Barely plays.
Barely playing. You can't justify that. You would have to see, in order for you to get the best out of your young, you got to see them fail and fall and rise again and fall and rise again. What rising does Taj Gibson have?
None.
None.
Taj Gibson's supposed to be sitting there on the sideline in Obi's ear, telling him, "Ob, come on, Ob. Come on, stay in the game. Come on. You got to box out." He's got to be that other coach out there. I'm not saying you're going to totally shelf him, but to where he's playing those kind of meaningful minutes, he's playing more minutes than Obi. He's playing more minutes than Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
That just can't be.
Right. But AD, in the words of Luther Vandross, in the here and now, in the here and now, right? You have to be amenable and adaptable to certain changes, right? And what I'm getting at is not get outside of yourself, right? But be open to doing certain things differently. Is what I'm saying. And if Tibbs is that down the stretch with these young kids, because you know what type of coach Tom Thibodeau is. You know what type of coach he is. But if he shows that he's open to trying new things, especially with these kids, you can't judge him on the same old Thibodeau, is what I'm getting at.
Do you really think he is going to show something different unless he gets real marching orders from upper level management?
Right. To great question. But remember the statement that I made. I said, if Thibodeau is open to making changes, right? That's what I prefaced it with. So I'm assuming what you said is your question is true in this statement, right? Do I think it'll happen? No. But I will assume, for the sake of what we just said, that this is true. In this scenario, Tom Thibodeau is open to playing the kids and letting them play through mistakes, open to letting them run a more wide open offense, open to, here's the thing too, that people don't understand. In the Knicks defensive sets, we are risk adverse, right? You don't see guys gambling. We are gambling.
No,
for
you're
steals.
right. You're right. The way you said that is good. I like that.
So in Tibbs' defense, we are risk adverse. You don't see guys selling out for steals, right? Notice the Knicks steals numbers are not high. And so when you don't gamble for a steal, you don't get the chance to pick off a pass and go the other way for an easy dunk. So will Tibbs sacrifice his defensive philosophy in order to let RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish gamble for steals? Small things, little things mean a lot.
The moment he put Kemba Walker in the starting lineup along with the Frenchman, he sacrificed whatever defensive integrity he had.
Very much. We did the bucket club and pick and rolls, pick and pops, one-on-ones.
Think about this. Now, Mitch Robinson was coming off of an injury, right? An injury played season before. He's always been injured. We're not even going to go there with Mitch. Not only that, Mitch also put on like 25 pounds. Yep. So he's in a position of trying to get used to that, to carrying around that kind of muscle. How is he supposed to mend an injury, get used to carrying around 25 pounds, and cover Kemba's back and cover the Frenchman's back? And on top of that, you throw RJ in a new position offensively and defensively. That's incompetence.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree with Freezy's point, though. He made a good point about the risk averse, because, like, anytime we get a steal, it's honestly with Cam freelance and like an Ed Reed. That's the only time we ever see them get a steal go the other way.
Love Ed Reed, bro.
When in Cam's spotty minutes, he gambles. This is the thing about Cam Reddish that I like. I'm not saying he's a perfect defender. I'm not saying that. But he does have active hands, and he does have the length to be a good defender. And he does get steals. He has to play. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not sold on Cam Reddish as being an all-star. I'm not going to say a crazy thing right now. I don't know what he is, but I like him. He just has to play.
So I'm going to say
not
this.
and not wait to go to some kind of summer camp, boot camp, like some of the other nonsense that I've heard. Well, he's got to go through. What? According to reports, they were trying to trade him the other day. He hasn't been here a month, and they were already trying to trade him.
Yeah, that annoyed me.
So what kind of boot camp were you going to be putting him through when he was already on the block?
Right.
Again, these crazy maneuvers that just doesn't make no sense. The team down the road is pivoting, and they're getting Ben Simmons to go with their stars, and you're sitting here playing the role of the Keystone Capers. You think when Dolan got up the other night and left his seat, he went to the bathroom? You better believe he was reaming people out.
Right. Right. No doubt. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Freezy, how do we fix it?
Let me first start by saying the Ed Reed reference was dope.
Oh my god! I love
I
Ed
always
Reed.
felt like,
ain't you a Dallas Cowboys fan, Freezy?
hell no.
Ed Reed's the best safety of all time, man.
Yeah. What
That's
kind
my
of
opinion.
So the Ravens, listen, the day Ed Reed landed in Baltimore, he was the best defensive player on that team.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I agree.
Now, some people will say Peter Bullware. Some people will say Ray Lewis.
Nah.
Right?
He was
Some
not
people
better.
will
He
say
was not better than
Sam
Ray
Adams,
Lewis.
Chris McAllister.
I love Ray Lewis, but and maybe when Ed Reed got drafted, Ray Lewis was still the best defensive player for a couple more years. But yeah, once Ray got out, I mean, Ed is. They're both the best at their positions. I mean, you could say Lawrence Taylor. That's fine.
All you had to see was in that Super Bowl against the Giants when Tiki Barber caught that ball in the flat.
Yeah.
And Ray Lewis covered like 30 yards.
Yeah, he did.
And
but that was
absolutely blew Tiki Barber up.
Yeah, he did. But that was before Ed Reed got drafted.
Yeah,
right.
that was when they had Kim Herring,
Chris McAllister,
yeah,
Starks, all those guys. Jamie Sharper.
I saw. So hey, shout out to my brothers, the Bullwares. Shout out to the Bullwares, man. You know what I'm saying?
Peter Bullware, Florida State, right? He went to Florida State. Peter
Bullware.
Yeah,
him and his brother. They from Columbia, South Carolina. He went to Dutch Fork. Yeah, Dutch Fork High School. So, but yeah, shout out to them brothers. Ed Reed, from the time he stepped on, in my opinion, changed the NFL. I saw him trick Peyton Manning into throwing him a wide open interception in a playoff game. Right? Ed Reed covered this guy that was running the post, and Ed Reed tapped the guy running the post on the hip and took off running to the middle of the field. Peyton Manning threw the ball right to the middle of the field because the guy running the post was supposed to change the route once he saw Ed Reed and go to the goal post. Ed Reed had been studying that play all season, right? The young receiver didn't recognize that Peyton Manning, that was their play, and Peyton Manning threw him a wide open interception. And Peyton Manning acknowledged that Ed Reed tricked him into doing that because of film study.
No, I agree.
Not because of skill. Not because of skill, but because of film study.
He's very smart player. He was always prepared. But the one thing that I'll say about him is he could cover ground better than anybody in the back line. I mean, he was a ball hawk. He could play receiver. But he freelanced on so many plays just because he has incredible. I've never seen a guy with his anticipation. I just hated he was a little arrogant because when he got the interception, one of two things was happening, Freezy. One of two things. He was either going to score a touchdown or he was going to lateral the ball and it'll fumble. Those are the only two things that are happening. He's never going to trust the offense. He's either going to score the touchdown. He's never going to go down, which you love about him, but he'll drive you nuts because he laterals. That's what he always does. and sometimes it backfired. But you gotta love it.
But
Well, when you got Elvis Gerback
or Trent
quarterback,
Dilfer.
I
or
understand,
Trent
yeah.
Dilfer back there, you
That's
gonna try any great defense with ball hawks out there are gonna try and score. There was no bigger risk taker than Troy Polamalu.
Nobody.
I do like Palomalo too. He was great too.
Nobody.
Troy Polamalu consistently went off on his own and did things out of straight instinct. And, in film study, they're killing him in film study. But in the game, after he makes that play, oh my God, Troy, great. But in film study, they're killing him. But there's things in football that you can't teach when he's telling you, yo, cover my side, cover the flat, because I'm going to jump this and I'm going to fly over the center's head and I'm going to slap the quarterback and I'm going to do all any kind of crazy stuff that only a great instinctual player knows what to do.
Right. In real time. In real time, they know exactly what to do.
In real time. And how fast do you have to be? Think about this for a second for a quarterback. A quarterback has to scan the whole field in pre-snap and get the ball off. A good quarterback, the good to great quarterbacks are getting the ball off in 2.1, 2.2 seconds.
Right.
That reminds me, I got to do a video on how I can help Lamar Jackson improve and make this thing get better. But that's for another show.
Right. Hey, no, that. Yeah. It's not just him though. I think they.
No. I'm blaming the organization. They're failing him. That's the title of my video. I'll get to that next week. But yeah.
Right. I got a thing I want to say to Anthony D. The Giants, and I know you're a Jets fan, right? So you don't know anything about defense. Period.
But
the Giants had a dude named Mark Collins. Pre-snap, he read your offense like a book. Pre-snap, right? Pre-snap, he knew where everybody was going. It's just when cats was changing stuff on the fly, the Giants could get beat, right? That's why when the Bears played the Giants, you would always see the Bears shifting, give them one look, and then shift into something else pre-snap, right? The Jets, my friend, I had this argument with somebody at work, Mr. Chester. He's from New Rochelle. The dude, I swear, is like 317 years old, right? He said the New York Sack Exchange was better than the Steel Curtain, right? His argument was that the offense of the Steelers carried the Steel Curtain, whereas the Jets with Ken O'Brien and Richard Todd could not. But he said, Muhammad such and such, I forget Muhammad last name. What's this? Mark Gastineau, the dude with the son that played in the NFL, the stout dude. He said they were better than the Steel Curtain. I can't believe it. But in the early 80s, when you look at their numbers, he's got a point. But anyway, I digress. G Money, when are you going to start doing your show?
Well, I have my own NBA Hoop show called G Money Hoop Show at BX Sports Jedi. I actually started a few weeks ago. So you can come to the show. You got to go to BX Sports Jedi Network, because on Saturdays when I have the time, I talk. The time kind of depends, but on Saturdays I talk about what's going on in the league and stuff.
Right. Hey, so I'll try to make it unless it conflicts with. If it conflicts with still Knicks fans, then I won't be able to make it.
Right.
But if because loyalty is a thing to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like not I ain't trying to be flaky or nothing like that, but you know.
No, I know.
So if it's like afternoons or whatever, yeah, man, yeah, we'll.
Yeah, it's in the afternoons. All the shows are in the afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all will have us, yeah, we'll definitely come through and hang out.
All right.
Yeah, man. Hey, so I'm gonna wrap up here, man. Get off this joint, man. I only want to rock for like an hour, but sometimes the conversations be so good, man. It just be like, dang, another hour's passed. But thank you to everybody that came through, hanging out with us for a little while. You gonna do the show tomorrow?
Yeah, to technically today because it's at the midnight.
Oh, today, yeah, dude. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do the show today. I'll do the show today. Yeah, 1:30.
Okay.
Hey, G Money, I'll be on the tennis court, but I'm gonna try to make that. Okay. Just
Oh,
letting you know,
Hey,
I'm gonna stop by.
see, all right. So just real quick, if we could do this for like 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. I just want to. There has been a debate. Been wanting to ask Spree, the Knicks fan, a tennis question, right?
Shoot.
Legit tennis question. Don't fluff me, bro. I know tennis.
Okay.
I know tennis. Now, am I a good tennis player? Hell no. That's a lot of running, but a lot of agility, right? Who in your mind, and be real, and don't give me a fluffed up answer about nowadays, who is the greatest male tennis player that you've ever seen? Not who's the most accomplished,
Okay.
but that you've ever seen.
This is how I answer this question. Can you give me 45 seconds?
Take your time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I phrase it like this. I think Rafael Nadal is the greatest clay court player of all time.
Yes.
I think Roger Federer is the greatest grass court player of all time. I think Novak Djokovic is the best hard court player of all time. And probably when all is said and done, unfortunately, the vaccination, him not getting vaccinated, he may not be able to play in some Grand Slams, which will affect the slam thing. But if he plays long enough, and eventually they let him play in the slams again, he ultimately should pass Nadal and Federer, and all around Djokovic.
How old is he though?
I think he's a little bit younger than Nadal.
Yeah, he's a little bit. Yeah.
Federer's done. I think Federer's game. If I was teaching my daughter, and I will teach my daughter, when I teach her how to play tennis, the first person I'll show her is Roger Federer because he plays. His strokes are the best, no doubt about that. When you say how you want to play tennis, Roger Federer. It's the serve, the beautiful one-handed backhand, the forehand, best forehand. But Djokovic is the most mentally tough condition in the fifth set. He'll kill you even when he's down match point. He stole some Grand Slams from Roger. All around, I'll take Djokovic. Nadal is the best clay court. Federer's the best grass court. All around, probably Djokovic. And yes, Djokovic is probably a little slightly better on hard court than both of them because Nadal's knees are not great. But all three of them are great. They're all great. I hate to say who's better because they're all great. But
are we in a golden era of tennis, or concluding a golden era of men's tennis?
No question.
Do you prefer this golden era of tennis over the Lendl era, the Connors era of tennis?
I mean, the only thing I like this era the best, but the one thing I do miss from that era you mentioned is nobody serves and volleys anymore.
Right.
Nobody comes to net consistently. Like that was a weapon, like a Patrick Rafter, like a John McEnroe that would just serve and volley and finish at the net. Like,
hey, so let me break that down though. So then more so than because now we're in a power era. Everything is so fast. Everything is so strong. Even the touch shots are kinda strong. And these dudes do things like go between their legs and they make it look routine. Right? Because they come up through these tennis academies. People don't understand the tennis academy thing, bro. It is crazy.
Uncle Freezy, so that just like in basketball, the athletes have gotten better, the training has gotten better, but also the rackets. The rackets that they're using, they're more like what they're putting in these rackets, the stringing, it's all been the technology in the game is different now that these machines they're using, they don't have wooden rackets anymore.
I remember I used to laugh when I heard the term catgut.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to laugh like, the catgut.
Catgut.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
Freezy, who's your favorite tennis player? I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't say the greatest. I'm saying who's your favorite. I want to make that clear. I didn't say the
All right.
greatest.
So my favorite to watch.
You can also ask me. You can also tell me who you think is the greatest because I'm curious.
So the greatest to watch, in my opinion, was Borg. Though I liked Yvonne Lindell, Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, that group of guys.
Okay.
I love the competitive nature. See, now it's friendly, right? Oh, not
True.
super friendly, but you get what now it's
Yeah.
gentleman like, right? But I remember Jimmy Connors yelling at yelling at McEnroe
Mhm.
at the US Open. Like legit talking trash to him, trying to take him out of his game. Right?
Yeah.
And before then, it was a gentleman's type thing. But I think Jimmy Connors knew he couldn't beat him just straight up. So he had to talk trash to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all the weird yelling was not the yell of frustration. Because listen, the grunts in tennis are crazy. Right?
They are.
The grunts in tennis. Back then, they were like grunts and frustration, grunts and joy. But there was no, I'm better than you. None of that.
The only
Until you
person we
see-
have in today's game like that right now is the Happy Gilmore of professional tennis in Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, jeez.
But we don't have many guys like that anymore, like a McEnroe that just will yell at the crowd or break the racket and go after the umpires. We're missing that. That's what makes him as
The personality, right?
Yeah. I think Serena, no doubt, even if she doesn't get the record because she's up there in age, she is the best. She's the best female tennis. There's no doubt. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think the power and agility thing with her, with her, is something that hadn't been seen. When
Never.
you saw her, when you saw her speeds on serves get up there to like the dudes, you like, oh, wait a minute.
She has the best serve in women's tennis ever.
Yeah. And so this era here, I'm not really even if there's a Joker Nadal type matchup somewhere, I'm like, well, yeah.
I don't like to like put one over the other because in my opinion, I think Djokovic has made each guy have made each other better. If it makes sense, these three have took it to a level where they all have 20 plus slam, 20 like I put them together. I don't like to do the MJ LeBron. I know it's fun. Like you're at the barbershop, you're supposed to take one, but in tennis it's so individual. It's so much based on matchups that's why I like to go back to the surface thing.
Yeah.
Like what surface are you playing on?
Right.
I think that matters.
Right. It's the to me it's like golf now, where the technology, bro, has made the technology has taken guys from 240 straight down the fairway to 298 straight down the fairway. And you're like, Jesus Christ, did this dude just hit? Did you just see this guy hit a golf ball 330 yards down the fairway, creasing the fairway with a fade against the wind? What are we looking at? Has technology made these people superhuman?
I think it's possible. I don't know what the drug testing is in golf or I mean it's just crazy what these guys are doing now with the technology. You're right. I can't. I'm not accusing anybody. I don't know. I'm just saying the athletes nowadays, man, with the weapons in their hands, a golf club or a tennis racket.
Yeah,
it's special. And but to answer your question, Freezy, I think tennis is ending a golden era, and we got to find new people that like. I'm a big tennis guy. Like I grew up playing, and all these other sports. Like I'm scared for tennis because it is a good sport to get conditioning for young kids, like soccer, and we need more people in America to pick up a racket and to take on that mantle, to get more players to be great. Most of them are coming from other countries, and it shouldn't be like that.
Right. And well, for one, we don't have urban outdoor courts anymore. They're paving paradise and putting up a parking lot, so to speak. Right. You don't see urban tennis courts all over the place anymore. Like just a place. It didn't have to be special. As long as you got a good surface and the lines are drawn and a good net, you should be straight.
I
right?
agree. That's a problem.
Right? Because when I was young, we didn't even have a net. We had the metal fencing. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like your gate in the backyard. We had that from post to post. So we didn't have in our hood, we didn't have expensive netting and plush places to play, right? We just got like you would find like somebody would come through, like a tennis player would come through and play, and he just like leave an old racket. He'd be like, "Here, Uncle Freezy, man, I ain't gonna use this thing no more. Take it home and tape it up, and restring it with cat gut." And I ha 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 ha, because every time I hear cat gut, I laugh. Like so just do such and such, and I'm like, I don't know how to string a racket. Are you serious? And he was like, "Well, I'll be back in a couple of months, man. Just try it. I'll come back, and if you don't have it right, I'll string it up." You know what I'm saying?
We got to get more courts everywhere, man. Like to allow young kids to get on the court and play with the real court, and that's taken care of by the community. That's important.
Right.
Your public parks, neighborhoods, everywhere, man. I mean, it's just. I want to see the sport thrive. I enjoy it. I think it's a good sport, but we got to make it available to people, and we got to. It's not. I understand. It's not basketball. It's not football, but you've seen it. Like if you train the right way and you do the right things, you can be good at it. It's just like anything. It's practice. So hopefully we get some American females, more males. That rise up the ranks.
Yeah, I think we've been behind. In that case, for outside of the Williams sisters, the females have been behind for like 50 years, maybe. Outside of Chris Everett,
I'm hopeful for this girl Coco Gauff, who very young, saw her in DC at the City Open.
What is she? 18, 19?
I think she's 18 or 19, something like that.
Because she's been at it for like 4 years, right?
Yeah, she started really early, like at 14, but like she's getting up there, like close to the top 20. She's got a shot to win a slam or two, and she may be the next one in line to finally break through as an American. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. I think on the men's side, we're doomed, bro. I think on the men's side, because when it comes to the country club sports, the technology, in my opinion, the technology in golf is outpacing the technology in tennis. Right now, maybe that's unfair, and maybe I don't know. Maybe somebody needs to educate me on that.
So I'm gonna throw a name at you that, in my opinion, has a shot as an American. Jensen Brooksby. The guy that played Djokovic at the U.S. Open last year, he lost. But I see he's a weird player, but like he's young, and I think he has special traits to potentially be an American winner of a slam. I'm not just saying that, but yeah, you're right. We don't have a lot of options. It's sad. It's probably Medvedev is next in line, and all these guys from other countries who are great players, but we want to represent, man. So. Any good tennis players, call me. I'll get them. We got to promote them.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, though, I don't think tennis is entertaining to watch on TV anymore.
Have you ever been live?
To a live
tennis match?
Pro. You talking about a tour event or just regular?
Pro.
No. I hadn't been to a pro tour event ever.
So let me say this to you. I agree on TV it's not the same. Like when you're there in person, seeing how hard these guys are hitting the tennis, you don't realize watching on TV actually how hard they're hitting the ball.
Right.
Until you're actually up close and personal. So like, if you ever have the opportunity, Freezy, to go to get tickets to a U.S. Open or something like that, or something. Where do you live again?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. I don't know if there's a tournament.
Yeah, it's an event in Myrtle Beach every year.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Or Charleston. I think it's Charleston or Myrtle Beach. I think it may be both.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's different. It's different than it's not the most attractive TV sport unless you're talking to finals. But yeah, you don't really appreciate it until you're in person, see how hard they hit the ball. But
Right.
they're good athletes. I'll give them that.
You know what impresses me the most? Not the speed in which they return or serve, but the clearance above the net.
Yeah.
Like these dudes can hit a ball 140 miles per hour, 2, 3, 4 inches above the net consistently.
Yeah,
Right?
that's repetition, and you got to have good topspin. You gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta. It's all repetition. It's all of your strokes.
Yep.
You got to make sure you gotta how do I word it? Like in basketball with your form,
Right.
3-point shot, the arc. Same thing
Yep.
with the tennis racket. If you're not following through above your shoulders, it's not gonna land with the high arc above the net, and that's what all these players are taught now. So yeah.
A dude told me that those strokes come from legit serious leg drive. Like he was like, yo, you got to have strong ankles, knees, and hip rotation
Yeah.
to generate that force to get that much speed on it. Because when you look at these tennis players, when you look at them girls, you're like, how you hitting the ball 130 miles per hour? And you look like you've never seen, like you would think a big, strong person would do that. But it's not. Most of these girls tennis players are like, what, 120-ish?
120, 130, something like that. Yeah. I mean, you're
And
right.
these dudes that are out there are like, what, 4% body fat, maybe 5, something like that. These dudes, they don't look. But anyway, I said 4 minutes.
Hey, you gave. I'm gonna say this. We can do on my channel. How about this? I enjoyed that. That was good. Like you gave me some tennis talk in there. Freezy, one of these days we'll do like an hour special on the state of tennis and how we fix that. We'll do that maybe one day.
Right, and we have to, bro, because I think the thing with tennis is even though tennis players are athletic, I don't know if you're getting the top-notch athlete to do it.
Yeah.
I think the tennis players are athletic. Now don't get it twisted. You know, you don't have, it's not like the librarian is getting out there playing tennis. That's not what I'm saying. Right? But what I'm saying is until we find all the elite athletes and put them in these places and spaces, like there's, to me, in my opinion, there is nothing better for me to watch than an elite athlete hit a ball. Right? Like the old saying.
Nadal is a great athlete, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
he is.
He could play soccer. He could play other sports. Like he's just a great athlete.
Yeah, and so when you couple a great athlete with elite skills,
yeah,
then you have Nadal.
Yeah.
And great technology. And staying healthy.
Yeah.
Because health is a major thing in tennis, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I think it's gotten better. We've found more talent, and obviously the athletes have gotten better. But you're right.
Yeah. I think that at the athlete, I think it's the same type of athlete with better skills training.
I mean, aren't we seeing the same thing though with baseball and like American baseball players? Like most of these dudes are coming from the Dominican. Like are young kids not playing baseball anymore?
Right.
Like that's the same thing we talk about with like, do people find as a young child in America right now, are you playing Little League anymore? Is that fun to you? Like as me growing up, I played Little League.
Yep. Yep.
I thought baseball was fun in the home run era, but I don't know.
Right. And so to speak to the Little League thing, right? And this is, and everybody, and people are always trying to figure out how old I am. Man, it don't matter, bro. I'm just a dude, right? You don't need to know my age or race or how much money I got or what I own. And I'm just
yes,
a dude.
I do.
I'm just a dude that talks sports, bro.
True.
So the thing though is when I was a shorty, when I was little, Willie Mays was the guy. Cleon Jones, Dusty Baker, you know what I'm saying? Some Ron LaFleur, you know what I'm saying? Some I keep forgetting the guy that he played right field for the Orioles. Now he's a Yankees announcer. Ken Singleton.
Yeah.
Ken Singleton. Yeah, those type dudes. Like I used to watch them dudes. Man, they used to hit a ball a country mile and run and dive in the dirt and get up and spit and dust themselves off and pick they fro. You know what I'm saying?
Tobacco.
Yeah. And so Cully, to make you laugh, I used to mimic them, right? I used to take these things called and listen, just to tell you how just to age me, bro, but I used to take this candy called Tootsie Rolls. I know they probably don't make them no more, right?
They should.
And I used to pack my jaw until I couldn't even talk. And I used to walk up to the batter's box and spit Tootsie Roll juice in the batter's box like it was tobacco.
Oh, right? You thought you was grown.
Yeah. I used to have five sets of batting gloves in my back.
You want some sweets too?
Yeah, in my back pocket, right? 5 sets of batting gloves in my back pocket, and then I wore. And so these were the ones my mom bought me, but I didn't want to wear no little boy batting gloves, right? I wore the batting gloves my Uncle Leon used to wear in the Marines. He gave them to me. They was all wore out, had a hole in the palm, and I used to be up there mimicking everybody batting stance. You know what I'm saying?
What position did you play?
So at heart, I was a shortstop, but the coach kept putting me in center field.
Okay.
And so I used to go to Coach Reggie, and I'm like 8, 9 years old. I'm like, Coach Reggie, why
did you have a win now, Coach?
Yeah, a win now. He was stuck in his ways though. He was stuck in his ways, Cully. But listen, but Coach Reggie, Coach Reggie, why you keep putting me in center field? You put me in center field because I'm black. And he's like, Uncle Freezy, look at your team. Everybody out here is black, bro. No matter who I put in center field, you still gonna have a black center field. So he was like, I didn't know, because when you watch the game, kind of like what Spree said, you know, up the middle, you usually have the Spanish guys, right? The Davy Concepciones and all these dudes, you know what I'm saying, that you dreamed that you would be one day. And so I was like, yo, I want to play short. He's like, yo, you too tall to play shortstop. There's no such thing.
Wait, how tall were you as a 9-year-old?
I can't remember. I was taller than everybody else. That's all I can remember, man. But I was. So he was like, yo, you too tall. You actually too tall to play center field. I'm just out here because your mom nagged me half to death. Your mom gonna come over and cuss me out if I don't put you in center field. If I put you at first base, she gonna be mad. I'm like, I ain't no fat first baseman. But anyway, my thing was back then I used to mimic what I saw on TV, right? Mimic it. Sure. Like Pete Rose dive into third base. You don't know if he's safe or out because the cloud of dust be like a bomb hit. Like a bomb went off at third base, all the dirt, and some umpire would come over there and call you safe, and the other team manager would come running out of the dugout like Earl Weaver. And so Spree, you might not know anything about a dude named Earl Weaver, right? So here's the thing. Earl Weaver, if a play was close, he would come screaming out of the dugout and cuss the umpire out for 10 minutes, hold up the game. If he didn't get his way, he would turn to snatch his hat to the side and still keep arguing, right? And he would hold the game up, right?
Is that what you would do?
No. I would be over there spitting Tootsie Roll juice in the dirt and dusting off my clothes. That's what I'd be doing as a little kid.
Let me ask you this: as a hitter, when you were up there, first of all, are you lefty or righty?
Well, okay. So as a kid, I was a right-handed hitter. So I played softball as an adult. I could do both.
Okay. So let me ask you this: as a kid in whatever league you played in, where did you love to hit the ball? Like, what was like? Did you have a strategy like against these young pitchers? Like, what was your go-to? I need to get on base for my team. This is where I'm hitting the ball. Or are you the type of player that you just go with the flow and it depends on the pitch you get?
No, that's something new. That's modern. That's the modern approach. Back in the day, we used to want to hit the ball in the gap so that we can get a full head of steam and slide. Now I don't know in the new era of baseball, sliding ain't as cool as it was back then. But back in the day, like on the street, like me, my boy Keith from across the street, Junior from up the street, everybody, all like Shantae from Armstrong, Will Redden from Bergen. Like what we'll do is we'll show off our bruises. This is what little kids used to do back in the early 70s, bro. Like what we used to do is I'll pull down my shirt, like, look at that, I got that from sliding into second base. And they'll be like, oh, that's purple. And I'm like, hell yeah. Bro, you ever heard little kids curse, bro? You ever heard little 8-year-old kids cussing like they grow? To me, that was like the funniest thing. I enjoyed that so much. Like, ain't no adults around. Like, hell yeah, man, I slid. Look at that. Got your little, But so to answer your question, yeah, I like to hit the ball in the gap. Home runs wasn't a big thing back in the day.
Did you have neighborhood games that were competitive, like with your friends, like and you like? Because we used a tennis ball like in this terrible like field that we had, and like we didn't even use a real baseball at that age. Like I used a tennis ball, and like we would have this weird wall, and we would keep score, and the other team would always cheat. They would always cheat against us.
Yeah, I mean that's what they. Yep. So yeah. To your point, yeah, we used to have these games, bro. Like at first, when we were really little, we used to play this thing called wiffle ball, right? Okay. You get the wiffle ball, bro, and you throw it and you swing and miss, and you little kids, you 5, 6 years old.
Right? No tees.
No tees. No, we ain't never did no. We ain't never did that like that.
Okay, I respect that.
And so, but as you got older, you're like, yo, this thing is stupid. The wiffle with balls really don't even move like that. So we started taping up the holes on the wiffle ball, right? And then we got to an age 7, 8, where when you hit the ball, you crack the wiffle ball open. So then we just started playing like with racket balls or tennis balls or whatever you can get your hands on. Right? And so what made us good is when I would come down south for the summer, right? I bring like a whole bunch of tennis balls with me, right? To, you know what I'm saying? Because back then we would we had one aluminum bat. We kept that aluminum bat around for like 30 years, bro. Right? 30 years. Because my uncle, who was in the Marines, bought us the bat when it was new. When aluminum bats first came out, he bought us a new one, right? Out of San Diego, California. He was like, yo, I bought this thing in San Diego. And we down in South Carolina for the summer. And we looking at it like, oh my goodness, this thing is, I'm going to hit a ball 800 feet. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know, right? We kept that thing around forever till my grandmother changed houses and then we lost it. But anyway.
Freezy, I made a triple play. That was my best play ever. I did do a triple play once.
Really?
Like the first baseman, when he caught it, was in utter shock that he actually was getting an ability to be to get the final catch of a triple play. I'm not trying to hype myself up, but I did one time in one game. I actually got an incredible triple play. I'll never forget. And also did a hidden ball trick. And the guy peed on the bag too.
Right, and it always worked, bro. The hidden ball trick when you little always worked.
Yeah, like in the movie Rookie of the Year with Henry Roland Garden.
Yep. I remember that, man. That's a great movie. That's a great family movie. But listen, I'm gonna tell you the highlight of my life is this. I hit a home run. I hit a grand slam in an all-star game to win it for our team. Right? It was in the rain. I came up. The bases was loaded. Coach Reggie came to me, and I spit Tootsie Roll juice right there. He was like, Uncle Freezy, if the pitch is inside, lean in and get hit.
Wait, that's what your coach said to you?
Yes.
As a 9-year-old?
Yeah, this is.
I was
probably about 11 by that time.
That's terrible.
Right? But this is how, bro. This is how things. You ever saw the Bad News Bears?
Yeah. That's how things were in Jersey.
That's how things were back in the day in the 70s. This is how.
Wait, Freezy, what did he say to you? I didn't even hear it.
So he said, Coach Reggie leaned into me and said, if the pitch is close, lean in and get hit. We need this run. And I told Coach Reggie, You must be out of your damn mind, is what I tell Coach Reggie. Because this is baseball. You know, your parents allowed you to curse back then, long as it was on the baseball field. Now, you couldn't curse in the car or at home. But
Bad news bears.
But as long as you was in the heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? This was the 70s. This is a
Wait,
different
what
era.
was the score?
I think we were down by like 2 or something.
Oh, come
Right.
on, man. That's weak. As an 11-year-old, you let the guy hit.
But let me tell you. Okay, so the next pitch comes, and I swing for the fences, bro, and I throw my bat into short left field and miss the ball. And you can just see the bat twirling in the left field, right? Everybody laughing. It's drizzling rain. All the dude need is one more strike, and they gonna win. And so Spree, the reason why I tell this story is the team we were playing was a neighborhood from a well-to-do area, right? They had all the modern stuff. They drove in on an activity bus. They had snacks and all this stuff. And this is before. See, we didn't understand the snack thing after games, after youth activities. This was new to us. Nobody did that. After the game was over, everybody just left. There was like no camaraderie, no orange slices, no Capri Suns and all of that stuff. We didn't know, right? Everybody brought, like with me, my mom used to make me Kool-Aid. I used to put it in the freezer overnight to make sure it was ice cold for the game the next day, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a different era, right? So they were well-to-do. And their coach was like played AAA baseball or something. And I think he got like a sniff with the Pittsburgh Pirates or something.
Oh wow!
And his son was on the team, and so they had all this stuff going on. They had all the best equipment. Hey, and listen, they wore these cleats. Everybody had the same cleats, right? And it matched their uniforms. They had these cleats called Nikes, and we had never heard of them before. You know how you hear of something, you like way off in. Bro, they were wearing Nike cleats in the 70s, and we were laughing. Ha, ha, ha. We were calling them skips. Skips, they cost $1.99. Skips, they make your feet feel fine. We were laughing at them. They had on Nikes, right?
I don't even think me as in the 90s. I don't even think I got Nike cleats. Come on, man. 70s?
Bro, we were in this, and so our uniforms and in the Greenville area of Jersey City, we didn't have much money to do a lot of stuff. And I ain't saying this to get on people's sympathy or none of that stuff. I'm just saying things are what they are. You know how facts are facts. You can't change them. You can't romanticize stuff that happened. You can't rewrite history, basically, right? So we out there with Mitch Mac cleats. And so our colors for the Greenville area were black and gold. But our baseball pants were gray for some and sky blue for others. But our t-shirts were yellow with black writing, right? So me, I had sky blue pants, a yellow shirt with black writing, and black stirrups. You know what stirrups are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my mom bought me some cleats, some white cleats, because that's all they had in my size. Everybody else had on black. So the team picture, right? And this is so funny. The team picture, if you can imagine, a bunch of little kids like, and me, I made my mom stay up half the night to braid my afro. So she gave me cornrows. So I'm the only kid in the picture with cornrows, bro. Crazy. So anyway, the kid, he was 11 like me. I wound up being friends with him later on in high school, right? We went to high school together, Dickinson High School in Jersey City, right? Met all these years later, and we clown and joke against each other, talking to the girls like, yeah, I hit a home run off this joker. And Uncle Freezy, how many times you gonna tell that story? So anyway, his coach is like, just look at him like, man, would you just throw him a fastball so we can get out of here? It's raining. So he ran back and throws a fastball, right? I don't even see the pitch, right? But I swing my hardest, and all I hear is ping off the bat. So I look straight up in the air because I think I pop it up. This is how overmatched I am, right, against this kid. I see everybody jumping up and down, screaming, "Run, Uncle Freezy, run!" And I see two people score in front of me. I'm like, yeah, it's tied up. And then the umpire runs to me and was like, "Great job, kid. Great job."
Wow. Home run.
Yeah. I hit a home run straight away to the field in the rain.
Nice.
The ball barely goes over the fence. And the Cats at home plate are doing a dog pile. And this is the first time I've ever seen a real live dog pile. They're doing a dog pile at home plate. I go in, they're dog piling, and the umpire looks at me like, "If you don't touch home plate, y'all lost." And so I scramble through the dog pile and I touch the plate with my foot. Everybody go crazy. That's the highlight of my life in sports.
That's a cool story. That's a
yeah,
cool...
man.
And you'll
it
always
happened when I was
remember that.
11. Huh?
You'll always remember that. Kind of like I remember my one moment of a triple play. Like you don't forget that.
Right. So anyway, cool. I don't know why you always let me talk you to death, bro. I'm glad.
Hey, man, I'm glad you came. I appreciate you, Brent, mentioning that story. I mean, it just goes all to show you, man. Like when you're young, like there's nothing better than being on a team with other people.
Right.
And so I'm glad that you got.
We were the underdogs too, bro. When I say we were the underdogs, that team should have beat us like 30-0 because they had pitching. They had all these different things. The only thing though, it started raining. These kids were in an unfamiliar place.
Environment.
Yeah, they were nervous. You know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of stuff. But the thing about it is we won. You know what I'm saying? We beat them. I wound up being friends with the dude, you know what I'm saying, later on. So it was a dude named Richard. His pops got a sniff with the Pirates. Like his pops went from AA, AAA, whatever.
Nice.
He used to go to spring training, but never made the team.
Gotcha.
And his pop, and down the road, we found out later on his pops was a jerk, and that's probably and Richard didn't, you know. But anyway, let me get out of here. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, man.
All right, bro.
All right, y'all.
Man.